Brinkley's Book Nook. Today I'm going to be reviewing 4 books, the first of which is Trouble in the Stars by Sarah Pernias. Trouble in the Stars is about a shapeshifter named Trouble who doesn't remember where he was made or who he is, and as he learns all of that, he is also learning how to be a human along the way. He also does silly things like eat 21 bowls of soup a day because shape-shifting takes so much energy. I love this book and I want it for my birthday, but if you want to read it, you're going to want to be a more advanced reader because it was a little hard to read. Next, I will be reviewing Arthur's Guide to Atlantis. The original author was Bernard Collins, and Arthur Curry came through and put it all together and drew a lot in the margins. Cool pictures like narwhals. This book was written to look like Aquaman's autobiography. It has cool pictures in it and tidbits of fun facts about the ocean. This book is not going on my birthday wish list, but it was worth the read, so I hope that you pick it up and check it out. Next, I will be reviewing The Bad Guys, Book 14 by Aaron Blabey. This book is titled They're Bee-hind You, and when I say bee, I mean bee as in bumblebee. In this book, the bad guys are on top of a skyscraper, which is actually a honeycomb, and they have to fight a bunch of bumblebees to get to the basement where the door to the next realm is. I love this book, just as all the books that came before it, and it will be going on my wish list. Just a reminder, The Bad Guys movie is coming out April 22nd, and I'm excited to see it. And once I see it, I will be reviewing it on my channel. Next, I'm going to be reviewing How to Win a Slime War by May Respicio. I read the first 2 chapters of this book, and there wasn't enough action to draw me in, so I just put it down. If any of my viewers happen to read this book, please leave a comment and tell us what you think. This week I got 3 books in the mail, which I am very excited to be reviewing next week. Investigators, Bunny vs. Monkey, and Lushkin. Along with these books, I will be reviewing DJ Funkyfoot, which I got at the library. Now I will read you my Grimm's Fairy Tale. Now this one is a little longer than usual, so I'm only going to read 2 pages this time, and I will keep reading it in increments. So now let me read you the first 2 pages of The Juniper Tree. The Juniper Tree. It is now long ago, quite 2,000 years, since there was a rich man who had a beautiful and pious wife, and they loved each other dearly. They had, however, no children, though they wished for them very much, and the woman prayed for them day and night, but still they had none. Now there was a courtyard in front of their house, in which was a juniper tree, and one day in winter the woman was standing beneath it, paring herself an apple, and while she was paring herself the apple, she cut her finger, and the blood fell in the snow. "Ah," said the woman, and sighed right heavily, and looked at the blood before her, and was most unhappy. "Ah, if I had but a child as red as blood and as white as snow." And while she thus spake, she became quite happy in her mind, and felt just as if that were going to happen. Then she went into the house, and a month went by, and the snow was gone. And 2 months, and then everything was green. And then 3 months, and then all the flowers came out of the earth. And then 4 months, and then all the trees and the wood grew thicker. And the green branches were all closely intertwined, and the birds sang until the wood resounded, and the blossoms fell from the trees. Then the 5th month passed away, and she stood under the juniper tree, which smelt so sweetly that her heart leapt, and she fell on her knees and was beside herself with joy. And when the 6th month was over, the fruit was large and fine, and then she was quite still. And the 7th month she snatched at the juniper berries and ate them greedily. Then she grew sick and sorrowful. Then the 8th month passed, and she called her husband to her and wept and said, "If I die, then bury me beneath the juniper tree." Then she was quite comforted and happy until the next month was over, and then she had a child as white as snow and as red as blood, and then she beheld it. She was so delighted that she died. Then her husband buried her beneath the juniper tree, and he began to weep sore. After some time he was more at ease, and though he still wept, he could bear it, and after some time longer he took another wife. By the second wife he had a daughter, but the first wife's child was a little son, and he was as red as blood and as white as snow. When the woman looked at her daughter, she loved her very much, but then she looked at the little boy, and it seemed to cut her to the heart. For the thought came into her mind that he would always stand in her way, and she was forever thinking how she could get all the fortune for her daughter, and the evil one filled her mind with this till she was quite wroth with the little boy, and slapped him here and cuffed him there, until the unhappy child was in continual terror, for when he came out of school he had no peace in any place. One day the woman had gone upstairs to her room, and her little daughter went up too and said, "Mother, give me an apple." To be continued.